HR, look at HR as the vehicle, L&D as the mechanic. When you bring in people into the organization, you hire them, you onboard them, you do whatever onboarding and all whatever orientation, put them in wherever, and you expect that they will deliver. But somewhere along the line, something went wrong. Where do you run to? You run to L&D, learning and development, and say, this individual is sick. This individual needs to be panel beated. This individual needs to be resprayed. And who does that? It is the L&D. Because whoever is in charge of that individual will report to HR if there's any issue. Let's even take industrial and labor relation, and we have in-house union, and there are issues. Now say we have been training the whole, not maybe necessarily training, you maybe need training. So where do you take them? You take them to L&D. So what you need to do, remember, is that we are the vehicle. We bring all sorts of people into the organization as HR. So what value are you giving those people, and what value are they bringing to the table? Because as we always say, relationship should be something that is a two-way traffic. It's symbiotic, and we need to know that we have to get there. So what are the value propositions that HR is bringing into the organization, and those that we are going to get? Some of us already saw me yesterday and been introduced. When you get your materials, you will see who I am. So don't worry. So what do you want to do? Let's unpack the agenda. Normally in training we say learning objectives, learning outcomes, and whatever. But I just want to put it out. You open the box, and what are those things that we want to get from this presentation? We talk about definition of personnel management, human resource management professional, and human resource management consultant. In most times when we finish our job as HR, some of us just go back and say we want to be consultant. But you can't just be consultant without adding some other things to it. Because at a point in time, they will just say, oh, you are done with. But after your job as HR, what are those things that you can add? And these are some of what we want to talk about. Two, we're going to talk about the concept of employee life cycle. What is it? Why are we talking about the life cycle of an employee? Why not the employer and all? Three, we'll talk about the relationship between employee life cycle and human resource management. Okay, I will call it, if I have my way, I will say people management, not human resource, not human capital. Because when you talk of resources or capital, you expend. And that is why the people that are now talking of green say we should talk of recycle, whatever, we'll be able to bring back, not expend, and will not be able to bring it back. So human people manage, human resource management. We can change it. Maybe one day, someday, somehow, some people will say we should call them people management, not human resource that you expend. And when they're done with them, you throw them away or they go. No. Then the connect between employee and human resource management, value addition for success in the workplace. That is our job. That is who we are. And that is what we should do. So good morning for my friends online. I know you can see me, but I can't see you. So just wait. I know you are there. For those of us that are in person, thank you for honoring us. Now, let's quickly talk about it. As always say that this is my opening shot. I love it, especially when I'm talking with fellow HR and people that ensure that we get results. So what do you want to do? You are paid to produce results. Yes, that is why HR is the vehicle that brings people in deliver results. Two, it is your people, not only you, that produce the results. On getting, as I am on the job, but not there what you when they are in the work. So, insofar, each organization has its own role and rules and it needs one another. No one is an island. No one is an island. So what do we do? As HR, we need to be able to face people when they come in after selection and recruitment and everything. What do? You bring them in. You do what we call onboarding. You do what we call onboarding of those new entrants. So what after that, as personnel manager, because we are talking about personnel manager, can I have your phone, please? And let me use it to let me get it so that as you're scrolling there, sorry for the break in transmission. Because I want them to follow me because if I can talk, I want them to follow what we are talking about. Because they will see the slide, but they will not be able to follow what we are saying. So just give us a few seconds or few minutes and let's see. Let the projector. So what do you understand before as you move on? What do you understand by value proposition? Value proposition, we are not new to HR, we are not new in the business of managing people. So what do we do? What do you understand by value proposition before I give you my definition? That is by way of the slide. Doctoral fellows? I say, what do you understand by value proposition? Value proposition to HR. Value proposition is what, man? Okay, so you are correct. Just let me put everybody at ease. You know one thing, in adult class, especially in training, in adult class, all answers are correct. Okay, because Baba know they fail. Because Baba know they fail. So you are correct. But one is all answers are correct, but one is the right answer and the answer. So whatever you say, you are correct. Okay, so it's okay. But when we get there, we will understand what you're talking about. So no trouble. So now, as we said, so focus your energy on helping your people to succeed, to be successful. Because once they are successful, you are also successful. When the chips are down, they will say, our team lead was the person that encouraged us, that influenced us to get there. So now let's quickly talk about what do we need as HR? What do we need to do as human resource manager of people? Okay, people's manager. So how to manage a group of people, personalities and work habits. That is our job. Group of people, team, personalities, lots of personas out there and their work habits. What do we need to do? How do we manage? wrong place. They have what it takes, but we have put them in the wrong place and they will not be able to deliver. So do such people get frustrated on the job and it leads to job burnout. They get depressed. And some of them, if they so wish, they japa from our organization. So what do we do? So we need to help our employees understand their strength and how they can be more successful in the workplace. We also want all types of employees to reach their potential. We're going to get to understand the difference between potential and performance, because some people have the potential, but they cannot perform. While some can perform on the job, but they don't have the potential. We're going to see that. So we need to blend the different personalities in order to build highly effective and agile teams in the workplace. So we need to manage diverse personalities, because in the workplace, we have diversity. And that is the essence where we talk about diversity and inclusion. Remember, diversity started in the Garden of Eden. Do you believe? In the Garden of Eden, gender, male, in their male and in their female, he made them. Diversity. So what do we need to do as HR? Include people in the scheme of things, and we'll get there. So why are we here? We are here partly to get certified as professionals in whatever we're doing, to get recognized. Because some organizations, they will say, if you are not certified, if you do not belong to a professional body, there's comma, there's asking questions. Because before I retired, some of my colleagues that were not in any of those professional institutes were not promoted, because each has its own point. So we need to be able to say we are here to get certified. Not only certification, we need the knowledge, we need the skills, and we need after that to be able to perform using your aptitude and your competences to deliver on the job. So you are a step or a jump away from others who have not invested in their time and money in getting things done. So what is value proposition? We're going to get to that. But before we get to value proposition, let's get to understand who is a personnel manager, who is a human resource professional, then who is that human resource consultant. What is the difference between these three? Story. Thank you. Thank you, sir, my registrar. Our registrar. Once upon a time, I thought I was the only one in this time. Thank you. We used to have just personnel manager. Anything happens, you say, go to the personnel manager. We no go agree. Call PF, personnel manager. But now, personnel management has evolved. It's now under a bigger umbrella, the HR. So under HR, we have so many other departments, so many other activities that HR now covers. So the personnel manager is still there in some organization. It takes care of other activities. So let's see, who is that personnel manager, or what is personnel management? Personnel management refers to the functions that many employers regard as what? Hiring and firing, or they are able to function as human resource staff whose performance are relative to the organization's employees. Then this function include what? Recruiting, hiring, compensation, benefits, new employees orientation, which we call onboarding or training, then the performance appraisal system. The performance appraisal system now rests solely in HR, but the personnel department takes care of that. Some other departments or divisions take care of some other aspects that relate to the employees. Then let's quickly look at the human resource professional. You can be a professional in-house. You can also be a professional outside of the organization. So when you're a professional inside of the organization, what do? You provide service to the operating departments or managers, then you help them to achieve what the organization wants in terms of our goals and objectives. Then you also help assist L&D to do what? Design training programs, design programs that will affect the work roles of the individual. Because when the person is on the job, it is said that most times when people earn the certificate or whatever, when they graduate, some of them don't perform well on the job. What do? But thank God that organizations are now saying even if you passed out with third class, we can still take you. But it's almost about 5, 10 years back, you either have a first class or a 2-1. But they now realize that it's not only the certificate or that just saying that I studied whatever and I came out with 2-1. So what they now do is that in the organization, the HR helps assist L&D to design which program will move this person from level 1 to level 2 or level 2 to wherever. So it is very important that HR, we have to do what? Look at the development and design of work roles and programs, then use technology within the system. They know what other organizations are doing, but also they decide where there is quality improvement. That is why about 10, 15 years ago, we were talking about TQM, Total Quality Management, and that has now graduated into ISO. Okay, so ISO covers TQM. You have to manage continuous improvement of the organization. Then you also talk about hiring and promotion of uh, members of staff without discrimination. Now, let's now talk about the what's on. Now let's talk about the human resource consultant. Who is he? As a professional, you have what it takes to be a consultant. But in most cases, when someone is a consultant, you are outside of the organization. The organization invites to come. We have issues. What do we need to do? So as a consultant, you now do what? You leave the company better than you met it. If not, when next you come? The HR manager is looking through this window and he sees your car and he says, tell that man I'm not in the office. Why? Because you did not give them value for their money. They did not see any difference when you left the organization. So as consultants, leave the organization better than you met it with an efficient and productive HR department. Before you become a consultant to an organization, always, always do what? Do what you call needs assessment. If you do not, you will not be able to, you will not get it. Needs assessment. If you cannot do it, ask whether there has been something done in that area that you can use as a database to get what you want. If you just go into the organization and give them programs that are not tailor-made to them, it will not work. If it works for a while, it may not survive. You may be able to sustain that. So as consultant, you should address specific issues that is affecting the organization. Then you give a complete overhaul of the human capital of that organization. You should address their different types of issues that have been brought to you, but go in there like a professional, not even like us, a professional, so that we'll be able to address their issues. Then we also create and develop human resource model that is for that organization. One thing that some consultants do, let's take this as an example. You were called in to take care of the drivers of an organization because you succeeded managing the drivers of Dangote, and you're called into a blue chip company to come and talk to their drivers. The way the truck drivers will drive is different from the way those who wear the suit and everything will be different. So don't carry whatever program that you succeeded in implementing somewhere and bring it here. It may or it may not work. In most cases, it does not. So you need to do what? Tailor-made programs to help the organization to succeed as a consultant. Look at it, effectiveness of your program in the workplace, in that place that asks for you. So now let's quickly look at the holistic. Those who are online, please, if you have any issue, let me know. When they type in questions, please just let me know so that I can attend to them. They are part of us. Now let's look at HR in a holistic way. HR is the centerpiece there. And there are other activities, other departments that are part of HR. One of them is salaries and wages. The other one is SHIS. The other one is ILR. Another one is the 4Ps and S. Under that 4Ps and S is the personnel, that is admin. So let's quickly look at what the abbreviations are. The 4Ps and S is personnel, policy, promotion, performance management, and strategy. You see, personnel has now showed its face here. Instead of calling that department or division as what, calling that division as personnel, it is called admin. Under admin, they have all this because HR goes into the boardroom to discuss the issues of everybody involved. Then the other division that you can have, I don't know whether you call it unit in your own organization, is ILR, Industrial and Labor Relations. They are also under HR. Because when they carry their placards, we no go agree. Where would they say? They say go and call HR. So it's HR. So SHIS is also safety, health, environment, and security. In we are just exiting the pandemic. Though China has started it again, but we will not allow them to put us in the closet this time. You know what happened in 2020? We thought the world was going to just burst and everybody will wake up one day, there'll be no world again. So after COVID, health became very important, came to the front burner. Before, maybe organizations were not just, they say we have HMO and all those things, but now health is very important. Well-being of staff. With COVID or the pandemic, what happened? People went into depression. The world is still going through recession. So the health of our staff is very important. SHIS is now taking so much from the budget of organization, and especially now, security. We can joke with that. What security? Boko Haram, kidnappers, everything. You wouldn't want to send your staff on a training or on the road that you will spend 50 million between Lagos and Abuja. Why don't you send him to now go by air 150 and give him a 50 million naira trip between Lagos and Abuja? So it's easier to talk about security and know what to do to assist our people to get there. L&D, we know much about training. So now let's quickly look at employee life cycle and the value proposition. Let's look at the value proposition first. As we said earlier, with the former diagram that we have, EVP is the employee value proposition. That now gives way to other activities. Employee value proposition, what are they? We are going to get the definition later, but what does it entail? It entails the benefit, the work environment, the career, the culture, and the compensation that you will give to your worker. These are the value propositions that you have to offer that person, and that person will say, this your organization is an organization of choice. So what do? When we get our slide, you will see each of these has been broken down that In work environment, what do you expect to see? In career, what do you expect to see? In benefit, what am I expecting? That when the person now comes for an interview to get a job placement in your organization, and you are done with the person, I said, do you have any questions for us on this side of the table? And the prospect now say, yes. In case there is a mishap in the workplace, what will be my compensation? The person is just interested in what? Compensation. Some other people will think about what? The work environment. Okay. Different types of things. These are what we look out for, and we need to be able to, as HR, be able to define, break it down. Compensation. Do you work in sync with the Employee Work Compensation Act? What do you do? Because in some organizations, they do not bother about the work environment. And when we've seen situations of where employees do what? They do what? They fall into accidents, or they fall into so many mishaps. And what do? After that, some of them are laid off, some of them are paid 50,000, and they go, what will 50,000 do to someone that has lost a limb? Let me give you the story of one organization not too far from here. That organization, when I was in service, and as a trainer, we used to go with our flyers, safety flyers and everything. So we went to that organization. Anytime we had programs, we thought, oh, this organization is big, it's large. So secretary, we give them. Safety, we give them all this. So, but what we noticed then was that the organization will send only the personnel manager. And the personnel manager doubled as the secretary to the MD. Then, one of these Asian tigers, so they were using the man very well. They were not ready to lay him off because he was playing the ball. So one day we now said, we will go to that organization. We will not let them send the personnel manager, the secretary. Every time they say safety, him, this one, him, everything. So one of my colleagues and myself said, let's go there. So we carried our flyer happily. We got to the organization. Immediately we got to the gate. Huh? Please, we want to go to the personnel manager's office. Then no. The man now said, you know what he did? I'm sorry, I have to explain it so that you get what I'm talking about. When the man came out and said, when you go that way, this part of the hand was off. Then it was workman compensation, not employee compensation, employee work compensation. So it was workman compensation. And then if anybody gets injured on the job, it behoves the organization to keep that person unless the person says, I don't want to work again. So they kept that man, this part of the hand. So the man said, if you go that way, you will go left again. We were too stunned to even continue. Say, okay, we will get it. So we move forward into the organization and into the compound or the company. We lost our way again. As we were going, my colleague said, see that man coming, let's ask him. So see again. When we got there, when we saw the man, I said, please, we want to get to the personnel manager's office. So see what we saw. And the man had see, the other three gone. The other three gone. He now said, oh, personnel manager, okay, just see my hand like this, go like this, go like this, go like this. And you see one staircase, and when you see that, go like that, you will see one person, then before you see before him, after him, you will see the personnel manager's office. He said, thank you. When he walked away, my colleague and myself said, I think we are in the land of the spirit, where names are not complete. So we were afraid. I said, what is it? And soon after that, honestly, the organization went up in flames. It went up in flames, but they were able to retrieve whatever. So but health, safety, and environment is very important. And when someone asks you, what will be my compensation if something goes wrong on the job. So we need to be able to say, these are the values that you come to be in the workplace. So in our rapidly changing world of work, ensuring your employees are armed with the latest knowledge and competencies is critical for staying competitive. That organization, if I'm offered 1 million a day, I won't take it because my life matters. So for you to be competitive in this world, you need to stay ahead and make your employees to be on top of their game. So what do? We need to develop a strong employee value proposition so that it will be the baseline for our recruiting and retention efforts. Because if you don't retain your staff, they will move. Then what is important is that EVP, that is employee value proposition, does what? Represent everything of value, pay, benefits, training, career development opportunities, and several others. Because immediately the remember, we are in the 22nd year of the millennium. Children born 22 years ago are meeting some of us in the organization already. So these people are not ready to take no for an answer. They will question what? They will ask why. So what do we need to do as HR? Are we ready to answer some of these questions? Are we ready to offer them what they want? So new generation, remember, the veterans are out. The baby boomers are also out. Okay? Unless those who pretend that they are young. But me, I'm still young. Even if I'm a baby boomer, I thank you, Mildred. I just celebrated 19th anniversary of my 21st birthday. I told you online yesterday that I'll tell you how old I am. So calculate that, but don't tell me how old I am. Because women, we don't, we always celebrate 21st anniversary, 21st birthday. Say, but my friend, last year it was 21. So that is 18th anniversary of 21. So, but me, I just celebrated 19th anniversary. So it's very important that as HR, take cognizance that people that we are grooming are not in the same generation with us. So we need to be able to give them something of value. Some of them are interested in the pay. Some of them are interested in the position. So some of them believe that the only way up is out. And what do I mean by that? Some of them feel that all of us came in as managers, but me, I'm already looking at, senior manager. How can I be here for 2-3 years and I'm still a manager? No, shouldn't be something every year. And honestly, it happens outside of this climb. Some of my people that have japa, they will all say, mommy, I'm expecting promotion. I said, promotion like, better money should follow on top. I said, like how? I said, our own is just every 3 years or every 4 years. And what they do every year is, what do you do that? Annual increment, thank you. I've not retired for too long that I would have forgotten. Annual increment. Their own is not that. They say promotion. I said, annual. I said, They say, yes. So what are we doing as HR? Apart from the annual increment, some people even stay on that position beyond the 3-4 years. And they say there is no vacancy. When my mates are already out there as senior manager, so they always say, before, am I going to kill all these people in front of me? Ahead of me, I can't kill them. So what do I do? The only way up. So I jump out from your company, go to another place that is ready to take me after 2 years of experience, and I'm there, senior manager. You can still be here as a manager. So it's very important that we look at what are those things. How do we manage the people that are going to deliver results? So now let's look at that is employee value proposition, which is different from the life cycle. Once upon a time, thank you. I said, I wanted to give you, but they took the time from you. I wanted to give you the gift that I promised yesterday, but as it is now, they took that from you. So that time, employee life cycle was 11 steps. 11 steps. But they moved on and said, no, too long. 11. We now went to 6. But when you look at that 11 and you look at the 6, they all consist of the same thing. But they've shrunk them. Like what you always say, shrink wrap. They put them smaller. After 6 steps, they say 6 steps. How can we manage 6 steps? Now what we are working on is 4-step employee life cycle. 4. From 11 to 6, 6 to 4. The first one is, out of the 4 steps, the first one is what? You hire. So what is in hiring? You at the interview till the person comes into your organization. All the hiring and recruitment process, whether you give it to someone or whatever, until I pick that candidate and say, this is the candidate of choice. That is hire. First step. The second step is hire. The person has already stepped into your organization. He's a happy member of your organization. Thank God, after 5 years of staying at home, and I landed this job. Or after staying in that place for so long, what do you do? Now the person is already in. What do you do at inspiring? What do you do to inspire the individual? So you train that person, you have put him in his department, you have trained him, you do whatever, onboarding, induction, orientation. Is now a new employee, a new entrant. Give him his key results area, key performance indicators, and everything that will make him say, yes, I'm in the right place. I'm happy to work here. So you inspire me, everything that you want to make him stay. That is the life cycle. After that, the third level is what you admire. Hire, inspire, and admire. The person is already happy within the organization. What do you do now to admire that? That is the point as HR, that in those days when we came up with employee of the month, employee of the year, employee of the week, we appreciate you. You're doing a good job. How do we do this? And for you to be able to now say, we are taking you to a higher level of performance, we're sending you for training, we're sending you for higher responsibility training. So that when you leave that level, you'll be able to go to a level where you perform at a higher level of performance. It should not be a situation of what we call Peter principle. What is Peter principle? The boy is good. That boy, Baba, that person, not correct. But you're not promoting to a level of incompetency. That is Peter principle. The boy is good, but you have not prepared him for that level. So you are making a mockery of him. He can perform at level 1, but he may not be able to perform at level 2. The boy is good at level 1, but he may not be able to perform at level 2. So you need to be able to ensure that you don't commit the error of what you call Peter principle when you are admiring that individual. So the last bit, which is the 4th level, is what? Retire. When we talk of retire, it's not just the person wants to retire after 35 years of service or 60 years of age. The person can ditch your organization, ditch your job, leave the job career midstream. Like me, when I thought that, by 10 years, I should be out of here. It was at that point of 10 years that I started enjoying my job. And I didn't know that I was going to stay 30-something years. Like that. I found myself, and I started looking at being director in front of me in federal establishment agency. I said, I think I'm going to stay. So, and I stayed. To God be the glory, they always say. Pastor, it's not here. So what we're saying is that when you say someone retires, he can exit. The exit is what we are talking about. It doesn't have to be that 35 years or 60 years. Exit. So what do we do at that point of exit at HR? You ensure you conduct exit interview. Why are you leaving? You are one of those people that we thought we're going to hand this organization over to when we are going to exit, when we retire. So when you are talking of retirement for yourself, you think of how do we manage the leadership pipeline as HR? Who will come on board when we go? Managing the leadership pipeline is also part of succession management. Look at those that will help us to get there. So you need to manage the people, consider what they will do when we leave. Now, part of from hiring to retiring is what managing the employee's career. How do you manage a career? People talk about career path. That is part of where I depart with some HR. Let me take I think it's MKO. MKO Abiola of blessed memory said, "You cannot shave my hair without me being there." And me, I've now added that you can't, even when I'm there, I have to agree to it. If not, if I keep doing my head like this way, that way, you'll not be able to have a clean shave. So what do you do as HR when you talk about career path? Get the individual involved. Because we always say career path, and you are in admin. An admin, you will retire. You're in admin, you're an accountant. And as accountant, you will retire from this. I tell you a secret. Some of them got into the organization. Man, no die, man, no rotten. I need this job. So it now came in as an office clerk. Somewhere along the line, they saw that those who are in account, they are always correct. This guy, without permission, decided to register for ICANN or ANAN. He has a certificate. Then, but you, as HR, you're already planning. He will be as office assistant. His path is what? Admin. So we should have discussion, counseling session with our people, especially when the performance management form gets to us. Because when I was in service, they will ask, what training do you think will assist you to get there? We will write. Most times they look at it, it may not be my turn that year. But some will write that I don't want to be admin again, I want to be an accountant. Such people, we should look at them. What do you know about accounting? And in that, some of them were given amnesty because they got the certificate without permission. But if you say, I'm going to develop a career path for you, the person will sit down. Oga does not sell. Conductor's money must to complete. 30 days make a pay. You will pay me. Okay? So such a staff is doing what modern management calls presenteeism. Instead of not coming at all, because there is work and pay, I be work something, no work, no pay. So what do you do to that individual? He has his ACA or whatever. So you call him, discuss with him. You know you did this thing without permission. What can we do? You say, okay, help me now. If not, you'll be wasting the talent. Like planning a career for him in admin and he's not interested. He'll be collecting your salary until one day when he gets better job, he'll jackpot from your company. So when we're talking of career path, let's see how we can get the individuals involved. So what are the expectations at the bottom of the ladder? What do we expect them to do in the next 1 to 5 years from now, if still with us? So that is managing the career path. That is where you get L&D to the rescue. L&D must help us to get there. So, before I ask, before they read it. So what do we want? No. If not, as we said, Oga does not sell, conductor's money must be complete. The employee, if he doesn't leave, he will develop what we call job burnout. And Question time, you will say blessing time. Question time, experience sharing, more blessing. More blessing. Okay? Question time, me, blessing time. God bless you. I will give you something. But don't worry if I forget. I've been sharing my own experience, but what you need to do, what is job burnout? What do you understand by job burnout? If you're online and you know what job burnout, please type into the chat room. Type into the chat room and send to us. Job burnout. Burnout. You are planning, yes, you're planning a career for me, and I don't like that me. I come, I clock in. 30 days make a pay. I collect my money. And I'm still on the job. So what is job burnout to you, sir?
Okay, to me. Okay, to me, job burnout is a situation where the staff is no more contributing, but yet present in the establishment.
Thank you very much. All answers are correct. Some are more correct than the others, while one is the right answer. Baba, no, they feel all answers are correct. Somebody add something for us. What does it say about job burnout? Is not interested in what he's doing again. Correct. All answers are correct. One is the right answer. Correct.
Is no longer adding value to the set standards of an organization, but still interested in showing his face in the process.
And still interested in collecting the salary. You didn't put that one up because that's the core of the matter. That's job burnout. All of you are correct. All answers are correct, but one is the right answer. Okay, so let's see, what is job burnout? Job burnout. Job burnout is the consequence. There's something before the root cause analysis. The consequence of a perceived, he will perceive it that I don't, it's him, it's with him, it's about him. Perceived disparity between the demands of the job you want me to perform and the resources available. Okay, you want me to perform, but have you given me what it takes to be able to get there? Is it the job? Is it the pay? Is it the resources? I'll give you a story on this. Okay, that an employee has available to him or her, which most times leads to stress or depression in the workplace. Because if he doesn't get it, he becomes stressed. The job now becomes a stressor to him. He does not perform. He looks at it that pay me whatever, I will still come rain, come shine, I'll collect my money. I'll give you the story. And that's the story of when I was in service. We were part of the first organization that acquired multimedia in the 90s or 20s or 90s. What happened? We got a good job. And the organization said, Mrs. Igbeyi, for us to give you this job, you're going to use the multimedia. I said, of course we get now, how we will do it. What happened? And it was only one for the whole of Lagos area then. It was in the area manager's office. And the area manager and the secretary, I think the two of them were the ones trained on how to use it. And they have not taught us how to use it. So what happened? And we wanted this job. It was a very big job. So we went to area manager, sir, we got this job and we have to use the multimedia. He said, I'm in the office, I can't train any of you for that now. Okay, sir. The resources are there. We are ready to do the job. He said, when I'm not in the office, tell my secretary, she will train you on how to use it. Okay. All of us were always on the lookout. When Oga, auntie, that was the secretary. Auntie Oga said, when he's not in the office, she will train us on how to use it. Auntie will say, me. Office and start using more. Our head out because we refuse to be deterred by whatever was going on. The resources are there. Some people don't have the resources. So we went out and we got the job. And funny enough, when we got the job, we didn't even know that they were going to give us drivers to train. By the time we settled down and we said we can use the multimedia very well and all, they said we are going to train drivers. Oh, we told the Wahala, no problems. So in those days, when they were using floppy disk and whatever, we didn't know it too much. One of my children now said, Mommy, just put in the floppy disk. Don't press anything, no. Just be pressing this one. It will come up. When you finish, press the other. Just that one. Just scroll down. And that was what we did. When we now finished, we had about 6 or 7 runs of that program. One day we finished one of the runs. Somebody was just saying, like my friend that is stretching his back at the, stretching his body at the back. He raised up his hand and I said, yes, yes, yes. Said, Mrs. Igbeyi, honestly, I like your teaching. I said, thank you. Oh, so what's your question? He said, no question. How do you show us cinema? I said, cinema. He said, you know, see how those things just they do like this, you know, animation and everything. We started laughing. So that is what can we come and switch on this AC please? If the people on this side are hot. It's shut down, the AC, this one. So he said that only me show cinema. So what we're saying is that anytime that we don't have resources to do whatever, people get depressed. They don't want to do the job. They just feel that we should. So as HR, ensure that even if it's most organizations will say we pay such less or more, we need to be able to get people to get the resources to deliver. So as HR, what do we need to do? Look at this. As HR, we need to ensure that we put our people at peace. Make sure they learn to breathe. Remember that they should breathe so that the disparity between the job demands and the resources will not make them to be on edge. So that is why we use these rocks. They are from Plateau State. When you see the rocks live, it will be as if you want to just push it and it will just be you are on edge. But when you make your people to be at peace, they will learn to breathe. They will learn to deliver on their mandate in the workplace. So as HR, what is our role in order to retain? You know, somewhere along the line, we mentioned retention when we started this. Work habits, attitude, and retention of talent. What do we need to do? Our role is not only to attract talent, our role is not only to develop them. One, and the major crucial one is what? To retain the talent. You need to retain, or else the turnover will be much. And the millennia that are in job now, that we are talking about their value through the system, they move, they keep moving. Some of them, I said, have you forgotten this proverb or this saying that the rolling stone gather no more? They said, make a the roll. Anywhere I stop, I stop. So what do we do in order to make them stay longer than they want to? First, you need to recognize their ability. Two, you need to encourage them to stay. That is part of admiration. You need to reward them. Reward them so that they become person of value to the organization. So it's about what? The readiness of HR, the readiness of the employee to ensure that they are the right people for the job and they are there at the right time in order to deliver results. Because if they don't deliver results, all our efforts, whatever we are here to do today or whatever we are going to do in the future, if there is no results, we will not be able to get there. So as HR, we are the link between management and the people. When you face management, you are backing the people. When you back management, you're facing the people. So we are what I call the middle belt. Not the middle belt of Nigeria, the middle belt that will link those who are propagating the policy and those who are going to operate the policy. So we're the rope linking people with the work for them to deliver results. So let's quickly establish a business case. Why all this story? Why this issue of employee value proposition? What do we need to do? How do we go about it? One, as HR, you need to describe the talent implication for the internal and external work, because our organization do not operate in silos. Internal and external trends of things that are out there. When COVID came, it blew everybody out of sight. So we need to also look at it as HR and the people that are working for the organization or with the organization. The current state, where are we? What are we doing? Are we doing it well? We need to be able to compare notes to get there. 3, we need to describe and see what we are or where we are going to be in the next 5 years. Envision the future. The future. If you don't look at the future, because it is said that a life that is not examined is not worth living. Where do we want to be? Are we comfortable with the status quo? Then, as HR and the people that are working together, we need to marry the present with the future in order to get there. So now look at the gap of where we are and where we want to be. How do we close that gap as HR? How do we manage the people to ensure we get there? So that gap is what HR and L&D will close. So we need to look at it, as you said initially, the individual, the people that will help us to get there. So what do you mean by Homo sapiens? We are going back to biology. Homo sapiens. The answer is there. Whoever gets it, will get it. Whoever gets it, will get something. This is what I want to give you. Homo sapiens. Online. Why is it? My people, my people. My people, my people. Only my doctoral people are talking. My people, my we want to get value from you now. Okay, thank you. Please give me. Hey, correct. Can I take part of? No, I have my own speech. Human beings, people. Yes, correct. Correct this time. Correct and right. Human being, Homo sapiens. That is the biological name for human beings. Now let's. You didn't let her answer any question. Why are you sharing? So look at this. How many faces can you see there? Online and in person. How many faces? 2, correct. How many faces? Not right, correct. All answers are correct. 2 faces. Any more? And look now. 1 face, correct. Online. Any answer from online? 3 faces, correct. Any human being, not human rights. Homo sapien when we have passed that one. Many faces, ask them. 2 faces, not 2 faces if you are correct, but not the answer. The person that is close to it is 3, but there are 4 faces there. Look at the nose. It's the nose that you use. Okay, let's see. 1, that's 1 white nose. 2, 3, then this one under 4. 4 faces. 4 faces. Use the nose. 4. You want to argue. For those of us, they say this is not a face. But when you are doing, you can kiss the bride. No, kiss the bride. Oh, be on top, be at the bottom. And that is it, like what we have here. 4. So HR, look beyond and you get there. So people are like what? They are Homo sapiens and they are what? What have you done today? It's not working anymore. People are what, like irregular figure. What is that? Thank you. Oh, let me not touch you. Amoeba, human beings. It's a chorus answer. It's amoeba. Well, and you know, when we're studying the biology, irregular people, so people can change anytime. Somebody that you thought to be able to deliver may now say, no, I am not working in this place again. So when we finish, we're going to get what people change to. But at the end of it all, we all remain the individual. We're going to attach this, about 10 slides of this. You're going to attach it to your, and you see how people manage, work within the system to get the job done. So let's quickly look at this human resource portfolio. On this angle is job performance, and down below is potential. So we use this, I'll explain this slide with a story. The story of Boda Yellow. Boda Yellow can perform. He's been on the job for long, but Boda Yellow did not go to school. He's a good performer. They now engage Uncle JJC. Uncle JJC has the potential to be senior manager because he has it, but he doesn't know the job. But that Yellow felt bad that he ought to have been the senior manager or the manager, but they brought somebody from the outside. So how do you manage these two individuals? This individual is Boda Yellow. Job, high on job performance, but low on potential. So what do? But Boda Yellow doesn't want to go to school, but you give him the opportunity and say, go to evening school. And he now develop his potential, coupled with what? Plus job performance. You can now move him from being that problem child to, he's already a workhorse. So you move him from problem child straight to what? Being a star, because he now feels fulfilled. But Uncle JJC is already having problems. He's not a workhorse, but he wants to be a star. So what do you do? Train him on the job. That is where HR now hands him over. A member of the vehicle, you hand him over to L&D. That is where L&D now becomes the mechanic to work, to rework Uncle JJC to be a workhorse, give him coaching on the job or counseling or send him on the job training, which HR will not be able to do. It is L&D that will do that. So eventually he will become a workhorse and turn out to be a star. So in most organizations, except in some public organization, that's where you have dead wood. We don't have dead woods in private organization. You hardly, because everything is money. So let's look at what do we now do? Need to develop a new mindset. Ensure that you develop and work on your talents. Watch them grow or see them go. If you don't treat them well, if you don't do well with them, they will not be able to retain them. They will go away. So what do you need to do? You need to train them in order to close the performance gap or skills gap. Then you'll be able to retain them for business success. So the essence of what we're talking about is about skills management. And before you talk about skills management, you need to identify the needs of the people and be able to close the gap between the current and the future state. So what do you do? Look at the employee, look at the performance. What gap? That skills gap. Is it a skills gap that is basically soft skills or hard skills? But you're going to talk about soft skills. Hard skills are those technical skills. Technical. Spanner, screw, and all those things. No. But let's talk about the soft skills. The soft skills are the, let's also use the word vehicle that we assist hard skill together, the management of people. Okay? Spanners cannot work itself. Even if we talk of AI, artificial intelligence, there has to be one individual behind that artificial intelligence. Let the whole workplace be AI or robots or whatever. There will have to be somebody that will speak to the robot. Robot, stand up before it starts working. All of us will now go and learn how to maintain the AI. Is that not so? So there will always be that individual
at that place. So let's talk about the soft skills. So soft skills provide the foundation for hard skills to reach their full potential. Soft skills are those ones that can never be replaced by automation. Soft skills are leadership, judgment, and critical thinking. Though they are saying they are now trying to make AI, when you watch this thing, they even want to make our edge to turn. When they said they want to make AI to be thinking now, but they are yet to get there. So in the face of fast and furious change, soft skills help professionals to work smarter. So let's look at this, the power of skills. So let's take this together. Imagine skills without the S is equal to what? Imagine it further without the SK. Now we are is there with us. So people are saying Nigeria is there, Nigeria is not there. But for whatever it is, at least we are moving with the current. One day we will get there. So the fourth industrial revolution, is it with us or not? It is in the world. So the fourth industrial revolution is just this: the world of robotics, the world of artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, digitalization, and what? Automation. Are we there? Is Nigeria there? HR, what are we doing? In case they introduce some of them are already with us. Digitalization, automation, some of them are there, but some of Internet of Things are also there. But the percentage is what we should be talking about. So HR, let's gather ourselves and get there so that we get the organization to move along with us. So our post-COVID, would I say post-COVID? Post-pandemic, because COVID is still with us. COVID is still here. So what do we do? After the pandemic, people say we moved into the what you call the new normal. The new normal is now normal. We have removed the new from it. It's not what we do. It's not normal with us. So what do we do with the normal that we are, the new normal that we are operating? Now, learning and development is more of virtual. In those days, this place would not have been able to contain all of us, but more people prefer to do virtual. Safety, health, environment, and security are now getting more funding. People are still working from home, except Elon Musk of Twitter that said people should come back to work. And you saw what happened. A lot of his people decided to leave. Even if he said he was going to lay them off, they even left on their own because people prefer to work from home. Some of them even said that they do better working from home than working in the office. So work from home has become part of the norm. Then job schedules and deliverables have changed with timelines. Performance measurement has also changed. We measure them because they are delivering, even if they are working from home. Okay. Then imagine skills of the future are critical thinking, emotional management, putting yourself there, innovation and creativity. These are all the things that are helping the new normal to achieve. So what do we have to do as HR? HR leaders in the new normal, what are the keys to success? We need emotional intelligence, agile mindset, okay? That is always on the move to get things done. Customer-centric approach and digitally enabled workplace to get there. So top management must have a buy-in in whatever we are doing. Link all your needs and whatever we're doing to the success of the business. Lead through change. That change is the only thing that is constant. Embrace diversity and inclusion. Learn virtually because there's nothing that you want now. Even if you don't know how to type it, just say it to your phone and Siri or whoever will help us to get there. So understand that we need to inspire people to get there. And managing people is part of what we need to do as HR. And people now becomes an acronym for professionalism, empathy, optimism, partnering and collaboration, loyalty, engagement, and empowerment. That is the acronym. You need to focus on people and they will deliver. You can't do it alone. Okay. Then you now use the fish model. The fish model is feel for others, involve others, speak to others, or see their point of view, then hear them out. Hear them out because they have the voice. So we use the fish model and the people model because the rich also cry. The blood that runs in you runs in them for us to be able to get the job done. So, as usual, are you wired to connect? Are you wired to connect? Yes, connect. Connect with people because it's people that will make you to be successful. So what do we need to do? Be kind to everyone you meet. But to everyone you meet, be kind for everyone you meet is carrying a heavy load. That is why, as HR, think of your employee well-being. Think of what they need to do. The health of your staff really matters. It's unfortunate that we need to use some events in Nigeria to understand that depression is real. Imagine the lady that jumped from the third mainland bridge the other day, senior staff of DSS. Still a mystery. The well-being. Me that I'm standing here, I asked this organization to counsel. Find time to counsel your people. They may not want to talk to you as HR so that Oga will know what is wrong with you. Get an external person. Just say there will be days of counseling. Okay? Departments, a week of counseling. So you break them into groups, and people that have issues will talk with the counselor. You don't have to be a psychologist. All you have to just the experience, and they will listen to you. But they don't want to talk with you because you are in-house, so that the guy will not use that eye to look at me that I have problem. So they won't tell you. So please look at it, the health week of your organization. So what do we need to do? What do we start from? Where do we need to stop? What should we continue to do? So where should we start? What will be easy? What do we go out of? So in all of this, whatever we have been saying, if you don't attach action to what we have been talking about, then you will not get there. We need one another to be able to do that. And willingness is the key to what we want to do in the workplace. So all what we have been saying, if you don't attach action to it and put all, for those who had the pre-induction training yesterday night, and those of us that are online, if you don't attach all and pick out something from what we have been talking about since morning, then everything is a failure. So you can as well dust your hands and move on and say, no, I'm done. You are not done. We need to continually move, attach our activities, put action, back them up with action, and we get there. Any question online? Effect? Any question online? Okay, so this is now the time for us to discuss, but we have come to the end of the discussion, and that is where we are. So if you have any question, please let us know from yesterday night or what you have said this morning till now. Let's get to hear your voice. You paid for it. You asked for it. Then keep asking. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much, Mark. And thank you for being a good audience and also for appreciating Madam. Thank you. I told you. Before we move on, how many can just tell me, can agree with me rather, that there are serious nuggets in what she explained to us here, what she shared with us. The one thing about what we do, talk about HR, talk about, is basically nothing that's so stereotypes, but they need to be applied according to the situation that comes up. Are you getting me now? That is why maybe the same point What is the question that you want to answer? So the point is understanding it and knowing who you are will show what you want to explain. You discover that you can find the easiest way to communicate what you want that your staff, your employee, your subordinate to get. It becomes very easy for you because it's your brainchild that you want to explain. That's how most of these offices our organization grow, because you have the in-depth knowledge and you have the ability to communicate, convey that thing that you have that you wanted to share. That's why I tell people, don't hoard ideas, don't hoard information. It's very vital because things keep revolving. As they are revolving, you are also changing. You are getting better by the day. And one tree can never make a forest. I remember also when we were in school, if two people are to carry this chair for, as to carry this chair, how many days will they finish it? Or how long, how many hours will it take them? Or it's